ladies and gentlemen, sometimes when you have a positive and a very good point, and your competitors also happens to have a positive point, but in a different perspective or maybe in the different subject, ladies and gentlemen, sometimes it's better for you to join hands rather than compete and try to destroy the others right in the end of the day. And that is why we believe that this host should not regret the acquisition and merger within the tech industry, ladies and gentlemen. And today, firstly, I'm going to give some rebuttals toward the government side of the host arguments about their justification, ladies and gentlemen. The first one is that they say that the first justification is that it's going to limit the consumer's ability to access the privacy, ladies and gentlemen. Firstly, yes, we do agree that it might limit the consumer's ability to the privacy, ladies and gentlemen. But it's not only exclusive towards the merger and the acquisition within the company, right? Even the company that doesn't do acquisition and merger, it still happens in the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen. And secondly, we believe because it doesn't really bring any harm, it's not that problematic, right? It doesn't bring any real harm, ladies and gentlemen. Why do we say so, ladies and gentlemen? Because you see, when they are actually selling our data, they are only selling the data to the advertiser, right? And then the ad is going to come into our homepage. That's what happened, right? But we see that the ad is that harms, ladies and gentlemen. There's no real harms that is coming from the ads. Even more, we believe that the harms, the ads that they give to us is actually very helpful and it's actually helping us. Why? Because the ads that they give to us is actually in the same line with our interest, right? It's actually what do we want to check. It's actually what we want to see, ladies and gentlemen. For example, like if you just googling about a camera, then what is going to pop up in your ads is actually about the camera, right? It's actually about camera. That's why we say that it's actually ad helpful, ladies and gentlemen. So their first justification actually falls in these cases, ladies and gentlemen. And then the second justification about that is that the smaller companies is going to die, ladies and gentlemen. We believe that is not necessarily the case, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, at some point they say that the investor is only going to invest inside of the company. But ladies and gentlemen, the smallest company is not going to die, ladies and gentlemen. They are only going to join a big company to help them fund and to invest inside themselves. So we believe that the investor itself is actually the big company now, because they're going to invest inside to the small company to be part of their company, right? And they are going to be invested by big companies. Therefore, it's not really die. They just doing it some of the other companies. And then they say that because they are joining one company, there is going to be less innovations, right, ladies and gentlemen. We believe that is not necessarily the case. Yes, even if the competition doesn't happen outside of their company, but it's still happening inside their company, right? Because they are still trying to prove to their boss, they're still trying to prove to their main company that they are better than the other small company itself. So we believe that their cases about that competition doesn't really happen. That competition doesn't really happen is actually faulty, ladies and gentlemen, because we can see that the competition is still happen even if it's between the small company, and we see that there is still okay because the innovation and improvement can still happen, ladies and gentlemen. And also about how they say that it's going to harm the workers in any way, ladies and gentlemen. We believe that is not true, ladies and gentlemen, because we can see that there is a lot of company that has been doing acquisition and merger, and their worker isn't actually harmed. Like you can say like Google and YouTube, their worker isn't harmed in any way, and we can see also like Goto, their workers isn't harmed, right? Even more, the Shopee and the others, etc., they actually provide a lot of things so that their worker is going to be relaxed and can work properly, ladies and gentlemen. Going to my argument how that merge and acquisition can actually help our society or maybe our company can help in any way. Firstly, merge and acquisition can actually help some small companies, ladies and gentlemen. Why do we say that? Because merge and acquisitions can happen to the small company or maybe to the other company that is almost going bankrupt, ladies and gentlemen. And why is bankruptcy is going to be very bad for them, right? Because with bankruptcy, because of a company, they have a lot of workers, they have a lot of people that is working there, and if they go bankrupt, then those people is going to lose the job, right? But if mergers and acquisition actually help them. Mergers and acquisition is going to prevent that kind of thing, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to prevent the bankruptcy. Therefore, these people is not going to lose their job. They may only have to switch under a different name, right? They may only need to switch under different names, but at least they don't lose the job, right? And secondly, we believe that mergers and acquisition might create a better result for the people, ladies and gentlemen, or maybe for the innovation. Why do we say so, ladies and gentlemen? Because there is, as I have mentioned previously about, if you have a positive point and your friends also have one, then it's better for you to join hands and create even better things, right? What is the example here? Goto, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, the Goto is one of the biggest example, or maybe the easiest example that I can provide for you. Firstly, there is a Gojek that is only provide sending things and etc. Right? And then there's Shopee that provide you with the accessibility to easily purchase anything. And both of these combined actually give you more accessibility, right? They are actually making things simpler for you, and that is what our citizens want, right? That is what our citizens in the current technology, they want something to be more simpler and easier for them, ladies and gentlemen. That is why I believe that actually mergers and acquisition can create two of those benefits. The first one is that it's going to help the small company that might go bankrupt, and the second one is that it might creating a better result of innovation, ladies and gentlemen. And going to my harm and benefits, ladies and gentlemen, we believe that the harm that is going to happen is that about the data privacy that people have that they say, right? Yes, but I have already mentioned to you about how this data privacy isn't actually really that harmful, because it even can help the people, right? And the second one is that about how the outside competition that they say, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, we do agree that the outside competition is going to be gone, but we already say to you that the inside competition still happen, and it's no for the improvement. Therefore, we don't really have to care, or maybe we don't really even have to worry about the competition, ladies and gentlemen, and innovation, because it still happens. And then the benefits that we're going to get is actually way bigger than that, ladies and gentlemen. The benefit that we're going to get is that we're going to get a better result. For example, like Goto, right? It's actually a very, very good thing and a very, very good example, because it's already given you a better result, and that give you more simpler and easier things to do. And then the second one is that it can help a lot of company by doing this. By, for example, like a small company that need investor, they can be absorbed by the bigger company, therefore helping them. And for example, also a company that almost go bankrupt, they can be helped by the bigger company and absorb them. It's actually helping a lot of this company and also their workers, just not bring any harm to them, ladies and gentlemen. And the third one is that it benefits the consumers. For example, it benefits the consumer. For example, like the advertisement, ladies and gentlemen. It benefits the consumer, so they don't really have to give any energy to searching a lot more about the camera. Why? Because the ad is going to pop up in front of you, right? It's actually helping you. It's actually helping the consumers, and it's right. And also about more accessibility, right? About we say that how Goto is actually giving you more accessibility, ladies and gentlemen. And that is why I am proud to oppose